Good morning and howdy from the Circuit of the Americas. COTA, the proper F1 circuit over here in America. This place is absolutely fantastic. It really is. It's taken inspiration from various different tracks around the world, one of which is my home track, Silverstone, with the S's here, based on the Beckett's complex. It really is a fantastic venue, and that is good because this is going to be a fantastic weekend. It is weekend number 3 of Ferrari Challenge North America, and it is also Ferrari Races weekend. So there in the background are the very corners we were just talking about. We started the season over in California at Thermal, then it was Florida for Sebring International, 2 very different racetracks, and then on to COTA, and this is completely different again. Big elevation change here. This is, I say, a proper F1 circuit, and it's going to be very, very fast and very, very long, arduous for the drivers. Laguna Seca up next, another roller coaster along with Sonoma, which is a 50-50 track in terms of elevation change, then Road America, and the finale mondiale this year is that the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya in November. So here we go. What a place for a Ferrari Races weekend. My name's Andrew Coley. Alongside me, Tony Villander. Tony, what a great track.
Yeah, this is a special one. It has everything. It has high-speed corners, has some elevation changes. Going up the hill, turn 1, you need to brake late. Then you have the famous S's, like you mentioned, where you need to have sharp, fast hands, but also stiff race cars, stiff on roll bars, stiff on springs. But then you need other qualities from your race car, the tight corners, the hairpins. You need good traction from there. Cooler temperatures this morning means that the lap times will be very, very fast. And then when we go to the races, then it's the tire life. There's some high-speed corners, 17, 18, the S's as well, that really give a hard life for the tires, let's put it this way. And also track limits. The last 2 corners is always the thing that you fight a little bit with the track limits. So we need to have a good collaboration between the drivers and the stewards in qualifying especially.
Yeah, very much looking forward to it. It's going to be brilliant. That man has the best view in the house. Me and Tony went up there yesterday. Tony Villander, how many times did you come here with Formula One?
At least 5, I would say.
Did you ever go up the tower?
Never. I always managed to find an excuse. No tower for me.
Producer Amanda said, we're going to shoot the opening piece to camera at the top of the tower. And Tony said, oh, good. I love heights. Yes. And so that was where we went. But it's incredible. The view is absolutely brilliant. You can see the entire track, except for, funnily enough, this bit, which is shielded by the big building on your right. So this is the Formula One pits complex and the start-finish straight at COTA, which leads up to turn 1, Big Red, the uphill left-hand hairpin, where there were many collisions in Formula One this year at various different points. Hopefully everybody keep it clean. It's super wide up there. We've got a third member of our team. It is, as always, Nina Jade Paul.
The tower was a very special view, but arguably I have the best view in the house down on the pit lane here at the Circuit of the Americas, round 3, and we are set for a huge weekend of Ferrari Challenge North America action at one of the most demanding tracks on this circuit. At 3.42 miles long with huge elevation changes, including that iconic uphill charge into turn 1, this track really tests both driver and machine. Conditions this weekend, it is currently sunny. We are set for a nice dry day, but tomorrow there is now some light rain on the weather forecast, and that could really mix things up, especially with the Pirelli Am and the Shell Am Championship being so close. It's such a special weekend here with Ferrari Racing Days. Let's get this weekend started.
Thank you, Nina Jade. Indeed, let's get this weekend started. We've got 4 different qualifying sessions, each of those of a set duration, and that allows the drivers to get out and do their qualifying laps. It's gone up this year, Tony, a few extra minutes for the drivers, which we feel has made a big difference to qualifying performances.
Yes, we've seen a little bit more calm qualifying sessions. Drivers are not in the rush to make their lap time. They don't have a limited time on the clock. Also, in case of some yellow or red flags, there has been still plenty of time on the clock. So these qualifying sessions have been quite trouble-free. A few offs at Thermal, but apart from that, even at Sebring, things went quite smoothly in qualifying. So looking forward to another good solid 4 qualifying sessions.
You really wouldn't think, would you, that 3 minutes makes that much of a difference? It was 12 minutes a session last year, it's 15 minutes a session this year, but as Tony just said so eloquently, it just gives them a little bit more time to get into it. Now we say that, but of course the length of the lap here is very long, which kind of limits the number of times you're going to get round.
Yeah, and some tracks we have some traffic issues, and like now drivers are just warming up their race car, building up tire pressures, tire temp, Also the Pirelli tires, there's a little bit of split. It feels like the rear tires come in a bit earlier and the front tires are still making that sound when you're trying to heat the tires. They're squeezing a little bit the tires and trying to build up the temperature. And driver, you cannot really force the issue. You need to have the tires in the right temperature, and then you can go for the lap time. If you try to do it too early, it just won't work.
So they need to take their time. You see Martin Burrows there was just getting himself set. That is Jay Logan in the number 70. Yeah, just feeling how sharp that front end is. And Tony, you mentioned that through the S's, which are inspired by the Maggots-Beckett's complex. I'll tell you what, if you don't know, let's get into that. Maggots-Beckett's is the ultra high-speed, ultra-committed series of corners at Silverstone, which came shortly after the old start at Silverstone. It's a seriously committed piece of track, and obviously with COTA being a much more recently constructed circuit, they were able to take inspiration from places like Silverstone. And you said that you need a car that changes direction very quickly in there.
Yeah, this is a sector on this track between the corners 3 into 6, and it's an area that you always need a little bit more time. When you come back to COTA, the other parts of the track, you get the braking points right, you get everything right, but then it's the speed through the S's. So you need to force yourself a little bit. There's a little bit of fear factor as well, and then just you need to almost kiss those apexes every time the direction changes. And like I said, you would almost need a different setup for those three to 4 corners where you need to really have a reactive car. And the thing is, if you lose the entry, you lose the whole sequence. If you lose one corner in between 3 and 6, you lose the whole sequence. So it's a very important track, part of the track where you can easily lose a lot of lap time.
We were talking yesterday as well, and even on our track maps that me and Tony have in front of us in announcing, there's an indicator of the track width on these track maps, which is quite unusual, but it's key here, particularly because of the uniqueness of the circuit design.
Yeah, I think this track was designed at the time of Formula 1 when there was a little bit of an issue with the overtaking. They were just at the time of presenting DRS, so the rear wing that opens when you are close enough to another driver. And really into these hard braking zones, almost the track is double the how do you say, the
width. Yeah.
And it gives a little, now you get the perfect view, and that really gives you a chance to do a different kind of overtaking. You can really dive from far away and stop the car at the apex if the other driver goes to a more typical, very round racing line. So this creates some situations during the race where you try to cover and the other driver can really choose multiple racing lines.
Yeah, much wider. So I was lucky enough to be up at Turn 1 during the Grand Prix here, the Formula 1 last year. When was it? October-ish, I think. And of course, we saw the 2 McLaren drivers who were in that fight for the World Championship come together on the exit there. You say the width is super wide, but it can also be 4 or 5 cars wide. And then you've got someone who's gone wide tight, someone who's gone tight wide. They're in different throttle positions. And so, yeah, it's a good opportunity, but it's still going to be tough.
And one point also here in COTA is the track changes from year to year a bit. We get cold temperatures here, and also the tarmac changes a bit. We get some bumps on the track where there have been some repairs over the years, some resurfacing. You can see them, the darker braking point areas where the track is a bit bumpy. We saw Gutierrez going into turn 19 on the previous lap, and the car was all over the place, just the way you hit the bumps and trying to be very aggressive on his first qualifying laps.
Oh, got a car off here, unfortunately. That is Porter. Let's have a look at the replay. So, where is... Oh, big lock-up. Whoa! Did well to hold on. If he'd come off the brake here and released it, he would have been okay, but that's unusual.
Yeah, these cars have ABS. And that's not a normal, not a typical thing. This is into turn 12, so in the end of the very, very long
that would have been straight. A ride, wouldn't it, from high speed?
And that set of tires, those front tires are gone.
They're toast, aren't they? So they get one set of tyres for the whole day. We'll have to find out whether or not he can get a joker set, as it were. Some championships.
Force majeure.
Yeah, some championships allow that. I mean, because being locked up for that long, they will be severely flat spotted.
Yeah, I don't see any chance to race with those tires.
Okay, interesting. We'll find out. We'll find out between the sessions what happens there, what the deal is. Gutierrez currently leads on a 206.1. Tony, we were looking at the lap times previously this week, there have been 3 sessions here. What was the benchmark in Pirelli AM?
So there is a quite big variation on lap times between the categories. So we saw a crazy lap time from Johnny Kaminsky, 202.5, and then the Pirelli AM lap times were around 205-ish. It's a little bit difficult to judge the lap times because when the temperature changes here, the track can be 1 second slower or 1 second faster.
That's a lot.
There's a big change. And also, if you go in with the sticker set, if you go in with the new tires, really cutting those.
Yeah, so this was something I was going to ask in a minute, because the track limits here has been defined in a slightly different way, hasn't it?
That's
for
a bit surprising to see. So with the GT3 car, you cannot really do that in the SS because you are touching that orange higher part of the curb. But it looks like with the Challenge car, you can be really aggressive on the SS. And also, exit of turn 20, so the last turn, you can really go wide all the way to the top.
Oh, and he spun. So he goes round. That's Burrows has dropped it up in the hairpin. That's in big red. That's a shame. He's got the rotation done and then just over-rotated really at the apex.
Yeah, it looks like he really turned this is coming into turn 1. He really turned the steering wheel. He had a good, solid race car reacting really well, but then the rear just over-rotation.
He's on his 3rd lap as well, and he'd set a good lap time on the previous one, so you'd assume it was up to temperature, but that's a lap in the bin, and of course, so at least he can come. At least it's in the bin early. He can rest the tyres and have another crack at it. So Hopkins, Burrows, Logan is your top 3 at the minute. Mitchell Green down in P8. He was fastest in 2 of the 3 practice sessions, so he'll want to get further up if he can. This is Joe Ribot. I'm going to take a look at my list of pole positions from earlier on this year, and we'll see who's had the advantage. So yeah, Mitchell Green hasn't had a single pole. It has been Venceslas to P6.
Yeah, so I talked with him yesterday, and he went to Europe to see the WEC race in Imola.
Did
and
he?
He really enjoyed. He said, normally I just want to drive race cars. And in this occasion, he said the 6-hour race in Imola went almost like in half an hour. And he said he had a lot of fun. And he said, see you at Le Mans. I'm going to come there as well for the 24 hours.
No way, that's cool. Yeah. So really getting into the racing outside of it, you get hooked, don't you?
Yes.
You get hooked. Yeah, so Michael Mathis took a couple of poles back at Thermal at the start of the year. Esteban Beckman's had one as well. Bernier moves, and Bernier and Green, just as we start looking down the stats, these guys, of course, were the absolute class last year of Coppa Shell and have both moved up to Pirelli AM. And there they are right at the top of the list again. Although Mitchell Green's had that taken away, I think. So is he maybe track limits?
Yeah, I think he went over. In the end of the green, there's the white line.
Yeah.
And you need to have tires inside the white line, and I think he went over that line with 4 wheels.
So that's if you go over track limits, and say track limits normally depends on the category. So racing normally you're allowed like 1 wheel off, aren't you? And it needs to be 3 wheels on. A category that I commentate a lot, rallycross, is 1 wheel on. So if you have 4 wheels off, you get and actually we're closer to the FIA rallycross regulation here in that they can cross outside the white line that would be regarded as track limits in Formula 1, but not the second white line, which is further over. So again, the curb cutting through the S's, the exit, as you said, of turn 20. But that will be some circuits again have a transponder system under the circuit which will automatically tell you track limits, and some of them require what we would call probably a judge of fact who will be at that point on the course and will say no. So do you see there they managed to keep well, look at the black rubber, you can see, so 2 wheels inside the white line, fine. All 4 wheels outside the white line, no penalty. And it varies, I say, from circuit to circuit and series to series.
Yeah, that's the point. It changes a lot, and some tracks, I think the stewards need to give a little bit more space, and that their work becomes a lot easier as well.
Yeah.
Some tracks have the natural character just to, the racing line takes you to the edge of the track limits, and forcing it here really much would create a lot of work for the race director. And these are the things that the drivers and the organizers go through in the briefing. In drivers' briefing, they set the rules, and drivers know it, they need to follow it, and obviously they're always looking for that extra improvement.
Cheeky little, few centimetres or a foot of track or whatever.
Yeah, once it happened to me at Le Mans in qualifying. I said, why they took away the lap? There's nothing. Then there's the image, the whole car off the track. And it wasn't me.
They had you banged to rights. I love that. But
Where did you come up with the picture so quickly?
This was before the days of AI, Tony. You could have blamed it on AI now, couldn't you, that they'd made a picture of you? That's amazing. I love that you've gone in ready to have an argument, and it's like, oh, yeah, sorry, I was completely wrong. So last lap, Jay Logan was quickest overall, 2:04.465, and that's his 4th lap. So we're still seeing quick times going in. And is he coming in? So Logan's got the hazard lights on, he's coming into the pit. So Jay Logan then has done the 4. Tony, you said this place is going to be quite hard on tyres, so if you could get your best lap done, if that might be the best lap he's done, this is Matthew DL, if that's the best lap he's done all weekend, he's going to come in, isn't he?
Yeah, driver has the feeling if he's on the limit. Normally with my racing experience, you post your fastest lap time and then you keep going. And if you see an improvement, you finish the lap. Otherwise, you can call it a day in qualifying. And yeah, here is one of the tracks where if you want to save tires for the race, this is one of the main areas. And this corner in particular for the front left is very, very hard.
That's the one around the tower, isn't it? The very long corner,
17,
18. And it's kind of 4 apexes in there. I was watching from the top up there, and you get this wonderful view of the rotation of the car in the corner. You know, so often when you stood trackside, it looks like they're on rails, and when you get high up above them, which is the beauty, of course, of some of our drone shots as well, you actually see the car move in the middle of the corner. It was fantastic. You know, I could have stayed up there for a little while. I know it's not your favourite place, but such a good view.
Yeah, and the combination of 17, 18 is a corner where in the race probably you need to change your racing line, use more the inside curbs, and help the car to rotate. If you just go on the pure tarmac and wait the car to rotate, it sometimes doesn't happen. So in the race you can sometimes see the drivers are starting to ride these curbs, just help the rotation.
Help the rotation a bit more.
An interesting thing right now in P6,
yeah,
Mitchell
I
Green.
was thinking too. Championship leader.
Yeah, Mitchell needs to improve, but he's had a busy week. He's been here with F1, F2, and now he's with the challenge car. I'm not sure if he was out also in 296 GT3, but he has had a busy week so far.
I had some messages from his driver coach, Jamie Morrow, who has also been out in the F1 car, which he absolutely loved, of course. And he was saying about the number of cars. I'll have a look in a minute. So Mitchell Green hasn't pitted yet. He is, according to our timing screen, still circling. Did a 2:05.6 on his last lap. Helen Chung as well, 2:05.7. But there's only 3 drivers. Matthew Diella, 2:06.2. So those drivers are the only drivers. This is Mitchell Green now, who is still doing quick laps at this point in the session. They're on laps 5, lap 6. So Mitchell Green. This has got to be a banger.
Yeah, he's on it.
He's on row 3.
Yeah, he's on it.
Here he comes. So DL comes through the shot now.
Some understeer at here. Almost understeers off the track. So a lot of understeer. He needs to use a lot of steering into that 17, 18. And he gets one more lap.
Yeah, he will get one more, but of course it's whether or not the tyres have got one more. Watching the braking there, that's fascinating because you want to straddle the curb. Because the curb is rippled, if you have one wheel on it, let's see if Green improves over the line. He doesn't. So his point was Green. No, he doesn't. 2:06.4.
I think for the strategy, the plan Mitchell had for the qualifying, that one cancelled lap.
Oh, that's the problem.
Was the big issue, because I think here once the tires go up in the right temperature, you have 1 or 2 laps. It looks like, and then if you say that lap 6 or 7, I'll do it. It's difficult.
I was fascinated to see him straddle the curb, as I say, on the brakes, because the curb is ribbed, and therefore if you have one wheel on that, you're gonna activate the ABS, definitely. So he was actually either side of the curb, a bit like that car is now, in the braking zone and braking, one wheel on the track, one wheel on the paint. Good balance, but it shows how much of the track they're having to use to get this ultimate lap time. So Jay Logan has had a P7 and a P9, didn't start either of the races in thermal this year, and he's currently looking like being on the pole here in Trofeo Pirelli Amp. Great result. Only his 3rd race of the season.
this part of the track is very slow speed corners and difficult to get the setup right. You have an understeer, oversteer, lacking traction. You need to short shift the gears, and then you go straight into 17, 18, which is one of the fastest corners on track, and really feel the G-forces and also a lot of load on the front left tire.
So the checkered flag is out on this session. Hopkins has taken it already. Jan Bernier in the pits. He's happy.
Looking confident.
Yeah, he's happy, isn't he? Front row. He's got so many options in that front row. There it is. Jay Logan, I think he just said hometown, baby, in the background, did he? Sure, that's what I heard one of the engineers say, so maybe this is his home race. Matthew DL still leaning up. DL still, I say, one of the best liveries out there. He's got red rims on today. I'm sure he had white rims last time. There's that braking again. Straddling the curb, making sure you're not on the bumpy section. DL coming through to see if he can improve. At the minute, he is in P11. And he does. Big improvement up to P6. So Matthew Diel with his best lap, 205.6, and crucially that puts Mitchell Green back another row. So Mitchell Green, the championship leader, drops to P7 with Matthew Diel's brilliant last qualifying lap there, which brings him up from the back of the grid to about halfway up. It's a good job, Matthew Diel, but it is Jay Logan on the pole from Jan Bernier, Joe Rubbo. So I can hear Nina Jadis down in pit lane now. She'll be lining up an interview for us. DL coming back in with that fantastic livery, and we'll be parking the car. Oh, look, he's got black on the front and red on the rear. Is that faster, Tony? We have arguments sometimes about what wheels are faster.
Maybe they were too late to balance the wheels. I don't know if it was done on purpose, but maybe
it's
it matches
a cool livery. That's what I mean.
It matches the livery. So
I still
cool.
like the white rims, though. I'll have to have a word. I'll find him later on. I can always find him in hospitality because he has
What
a
is the wheel game going on?
with the same livery. Look at that amazing Texan flag. We're underway here at COTA, and our first pole sitter, Jay Logan, is with Nina Jade Paul.
Yes, we have a home race pole position, Jay. I mean, you were second fastest in the third practice session, and now you've taken pole today. How are you feeling?
Oh man, I feel great. This is hometown. This is my home track. I've been coming here since they've opened the track in 2012. It's been surreal to put this car on pole because we've got some very competitive drivers in our class. Thanks to our team putting together a great car, and my coach who did a great job coaching me and guiding me and mentally getting me prepared for this.
This being your home race, do you think it gives you a competitive advantage?
I hope not. There's a lot of pressure too, but I'm going to give it all I have. I've got some great competition ahead of me later this afternoon, so I'm excited either way.
Congratulations again. Go well.
Thank you.
Great stuff there. Glowing report as well for his coach, saying about how well he prepared him, not just in terms of driving the car, but mentally. And so much of a driver's speed is in their head. We'll talk to Tony Verlander about that in a minute. But he managed not to get into his own head, Jay Logan. Brilliant lap time to take the pole, 2:04.4, which was quicker than I think anyone has got. Yeah, it was. It was very quick indeed compared to the practice lap times this week. So Jay Logan doing the job when it needed doing, gets the pole position. Jan Bernier, P2, 0.2 of a second back. Joe Rubbo, 0.3. So they're very close together. Hopkins, Burrows, DL, Mitchell Green, remember, had a lap time up there, but we think because he disappeared from the timing screen, had that taken away. And then it's Frank Chan, Kevin Gutierrez, Gerda Svenslevas, and Michael Porter. Michael Porter setting no time in this session. We're getting ourselves ready for the next session. Kaminsky is at the front row here, and it is Kaminsky who set the best lap time. As you see, Matthew Diel, the final of the Pirelli Am runners, coming in the background. We're just getting ready to release the Pirelli cars. 4 categories here at Ferrari Challenge: Pirelli, Pirelli Am, Shell, and Shell Am. As you can imagine, the Am actually stands for amateur. That's kind of feels like a bit of a harsh word because I don't think any of these guys are amateurs, but it comes from GT racing, endurance racing, where you often have a pro driver and an Am driver. 4 cars going out together here, Tony. Interesting.
Yeah, it looks like Johnny Kaminsky has gathered some reputation, so everybody wants to follow him. Out from the pits, track is fast already. The first session proved it, so everybody wants to go out. As soon as the session went green, everybody's out. Most of the drivers are out on track.
Is Kaminsky, Valvera right in behind him?
And interesting, I don't know if you mentioned already.
No, I haven't. Manny Franco's back.
He's back. He won the race 2 with a very strong performance. race 2 in thermal, and he has some commitments also in IMSA in GT3, GTD. So good to have him back, and he's a good reference point for our regular Pirelli drivers.
And we have just had confirmation that Mitchell Green's lap. So we saw him at the top of the table, and literally 2 seconds later he was gone. And we've had confirmation from race control it was track limits. So Mitchell Green, the championship leader in Pirelli, and will start from further down the grid. Not going to lie, for us on TV and for people watching at home, that's going to be fun because Mitchell's going to have to carve his way through. But obviously, it's no fun for him.
But also, when you analyze a weekend, how did it go? Where did we have the pace, and where did we end up? These can be very tricky moments. That lap time could have set him a good starting position, trouble-free start, and so on. Now he's in the middle of the back, P7, and that can cause some issues at the start. Maybe a little bit of lack of concentration, maybe trying a bit too much in qualifying, and that caused him the mistake coming out of 20 for turn 20. For sure, he knew the last corner rule and the track limits, but yeah, unfortunate thing. Not a nice thing for the driver when you get your lap time taken away.
No, yeah, especially when you don't mind if you have a mediocre lap taken away. When your best lap goes, no good. We're on board with Roberto Perina, who has had a P2 and a P3. He's had a fastest lap as well this year so far. Perina, we know last year was right up there in terms of pace. You can see the dash completely here at this time of day, which is lovely, and just the sheer amount of information the driver's got. And you can also see he's not using full RPM, and he's just building the temperatures up. We saw as well before that George Grinzovic, and Grinzovic had his first podium at Sebring last time out, the second race at Sebring. He's out there circulating as well. Here is Roberto Perina from the outside. Last year, of course, there was the reverse livery of Massimo Perina, who won the series at the first attempt. Brilliant job by him. He really was fantastic last year. Here's Kaminski through the S's, and again, Tony, this isn't full commitment yet, is it? You can just see from the attitude in the car. Still lap number 2. These guys are so sensible. It's just like, just cruise around.
Yeah, still waiting for those tires to be in the right window, and then drivers like Johnny, you and he should only need one lap, one or 2 laps, and we've seen it already this year at Sebring. The lap times were really, really impressive, and I think Johnny is in a phase with the challenge car that he's very confident with the performance. There is still some small things with the experience. He's so young that with the setup, how to predict what happens in the half distance of the race, what happens towards the end of the race, and he's every time learning more and more. And I think a good learning curve was Manny Franco's race 2 at thermal, because that was about the tire life. It wasn't about pure pace on one lap, and you cannot judge your day in practice only by posting the fastest lap times and then you go and chill by the pool. You need to think about what happens in qualifying and then in the race. So that's why I think Johnny, even being the championship leader, he's learning all the time. More things and new things, how to progress during the week.
And he is so focused, isn't he? We say chill by the pool. That wouldn't be what Johnny would be doing. That would be what me and Tony would be doing. Tony now, you know, he's somewhat retired. He's still very fast, but he would maybe choose the pool over the pole. But Kaminski will have been focused on. But as you say, it was Franco's pace in that second half. And here's that straddle on the curb again. Franco's pace in the second half of the race at thermal was just mega. Here he comes now. This will be his first push lap. So runs the car out and the clock starts. So yeah, 2:12.3 was the warm-up lap, and we know he can go some 7 seconds faster than that. So let's see now then how we crack on with a big push lap. This is Beckman. Esteban Beckman still on a warm-up lap. Good to see him out and pushing again. Grinzovic currently the fastest with the 2:10.9, but I say we're expecting them to go 6-7 seconds quicker than this. Look at the cars moving around on the brakes. Couple of overtaking spots here late on the straights, like here's Kaminski now. So Kaminski's dropping in at turn 10. That's where the car drops back off down towards 11. And again, watch for it being wider here. I don't think you'll see a lot of overtaking there, but you can expect to see a lot on the exit here. This is that very long straight out of turn 11 and down to turn 12.
Yes, these two corners, 11 and 12. He's approaching to 12 right now. The important thing is brake late. If your braking finishes short, the whole sequence in the corner goes wrong. And the apex, it's important, but not as important as normally. So even if you overshoot the braking a little bit, it's more important to get the rotation and the timing right.
You saw just the puff of smoke from the front right Pirelli. Kaminski definitely pushing really hard. You can even see the Pirellis moving around on the rims with the change of direction here. Fantastic shots. You've got brilliant camera set up this weekend. Just such good coverage. The flip-flop down the straight as well. You get an idea of the speed, don't you? Through the long right-hand and out. A little touch on the curb on the inside. And then out wide and back through. This is where the grid shot was done yesterday. It's epic. If you haven't seen it, go and check out the Ferrari Races Instagram. It's stunning. Kaminski, the rotation again. He's making the car look nervous. Big last braking zone. Out, pops it up over the curbs into the inside line. Kaminski slides through the final corner. On it over the line. It's a 2:02.8. That's pretty quick. He went... it's only 3/10 of his quickies of the week. Is that track limits for Fowler? Has
Yeah,
it gone in a bit quick?
touched the inside curb into 19 and the car unbalanced and went wide. And also Kaminski, very surprising, very tight line coming out of 18. So he was going quite wide between the 17 and 18 and then very tight line and preparing the car very early for the rotation. I think look at the track limits.
Borderline, isn't it? This is the thing, is how far do you want to push it? That's a Tony Villander at Le Mans moment.
That was quite close, but I think he was inside the track limits though. It was just on the edge.
Perina on board here, and this is the second to last corner. In the background you can see they're building a theme park here at COTA, and literally none of that was here when I was here in October for F1, and it's just popping up so fast. Not that the driver's going to get much time to look at it. What, yeah, Tony, the dashboard.
Yeah, it was showing 2:04.2 for Roberto Perina, and
Like,
that's the
really
actual
hard.
lap time he did. And big gap, Johnny Kaminski right now cleared by 8/10 almost.
Jeremy Clark up into P2, 0.7 of a second off. According to my stats, this is his first event this year, so that is fantastic in the top category. He's done a few events in the last few years, but to come in here at COTA and go straight into P2, absolutely brilliant. Does some ELMS and IMSA as well, so I guess we would expect him to be on it, but for him to be straight up just behind Kaminski. Kaminski with 7/10 gap is impressive, obviously. Grinzovic currently sitting in P6. Hoping to improve on that lap time. Now, again, you can see the rotation there through the long right-handers. These are the 4 right-handers around the outside of the COTA tower, which so I have to highly recommend. If you want to watch later on YouTube, you'll see the, actually, maybe tomorrow, tomorrow, the opening piece to cameras we've done, and they'll be from the top of that tower. We've got some brilliant drone shots from up there as well. Grinzovic, again, it's so borderline, isn't it? And the drivers who are really on it are coming right to that dirt patch, which is at the very end of the pavement.
Yeah, you can see the difference now with the Pirelli drivers. They are really using the track limits to the edge.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find every detail to improve their lap time.
There's a man down there with a clipboard making notes. He's probably not. He'll be watching a CCTV camera, but yeah.
Yeah, Manny Franco is done. He's back to the pits. He made only maybe two flying laps.
I think he's got a problem, Tony, because he's... what's his best lap? No, 204.2. Yeah, fair. So you think he's going to park it?
It looks like.
But then it was Franco who did the fantastic tyre wear at Thermal. You know, maybe this is Franco going, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to park it now because I know I'm done. Kaminski's last lap was a 2:13.5, so there is a chance that Kaminski's either resting the tyres and will go for one more, or he's going to come in. Brian Cook, again, really pushing it in between turns 19 and 20. Indicator on, that'll be accidental. You don't really have, you don't notice the tick 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 in the car, do you? He's noticed it though. He has once he's got on the straight. A little bit busy there in turn 20 to switch the indicator off. Indicators used, if you're wondering, you can use indicators to tell another driver which side you want them to pass you. So if you're having an issue, you can move across, and it just gives the driver a visual indicator that you are aware that they're there and that they want you to pass. And you can use that on slow laps or if you've got an issue in the race. Kaminski still out, look.
But I think Johnny there's no need for him to...
No, I mean, I'd park it. If Franco's parked it as well, I don't think it's going to be a rest lap, is it? It's going to be an in lap. We'll find out soon enough. He's just got a few more corners to go, and he'll be into pit in. At 4 minutes 12. I mean, yeah, it's a long lap here at 2 minutes. They're only doing 4 or 5 laps anyway. Could be a quiet track at the end of this session.
Yeah, impressive driving from Johnny. You can see the aggression, the confidence he has with the race car, and he's really throwing the 296 Challenge car where he wants, and carrying a lot of speed in the high-speed S's, and just very, very solid, good lap time, almost matching his fastest lap time from the practice, so he needed 1 flying lap.
Esteban Beckman is still pushing, definitely, and using track limits. So I'm going to stand up in our commentary box because the pit lane is right outside our window. Be able to see the second Kaminsky comes in. We do have a pit indicator as well. Beckman, here's that big braking zone. Couple of little bumps. Yeah, Kaminsky's just pitted, just in front of us. So and the indicator comes on your screen at the exact same time. So he's crossed over the timing line into the pits. Beckman currently sitting in P8, and he's a second off P7, so this needs to be a good lap if he wants to get up the order a little bit. McCarthy and Bitton not setting laps in this session. All the track width on the exit there. Through that long right-hander again, and coming down to the final corner now, so Esteban Beckman. 1 to go. That's 19 that he's in. 20 now. Oh, he's got sideways a little bit on the brakes. Just got to get that curb straddle dead right. That's better on the exit. Earlier on, he was quite tight on the lock on there. But it is his best lap at 2:05.4. It's not enough to move him up. Kaminsky comes in. It's another pole position for him. Amazing job. Really getting it done in qualifying. There's his dad, Brian Kaminsky, heading round to greet him. Oh, it's nice, isn't it? Great team down there. Oh, it's cool. Look at it. Everybody down there waiting for Johnny to come in. He looks really relaxed and focused, and literally, Tony, I think he did it in that 1 push lap, didn't he? I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was 1 push lap.
Yeah, it was a very solid, confident performance. I think we need some graphics on Johnny's helmet. We need to get the helmet painted.
Yes, we do.
Maybe we do a design and propose it to him.
Yeah. He's doing a great job, isn't he? Krinzovic.
I think Johnny's performance shows when we talk about the peak of the tire performance. So he's really using the tire in the right way, coming out from the pits. The next lap is still a slow lap. 2:12 and then bump.
2 slow laps, bang the fast one in.
Yes.
Absolutely. So the tyres are up to temperature. They've had 0 use, bang the fast lap in. You'd still have time for a backup lap, but not needing the backup lap is the key. It's
and the plan is the drivers and the teams, they know how the tires perform from the experience they get on in the practice, and you make a plan for qualifying. So I think Johnny, maybe the 2/10 or the 3/10 he lost for his practice lap time comes from the track limits. Maybe you need to just leave a little bit 2/10 slower, but you're inside the track limits and get the lap approved. Instead, if he gets the lap cancelled, maybe you don't do P1.
Yeah, so leaving something in the bag, and then if Manny Franco had done a perfect first lap, you go, all right, I'll risk 1 closer to track limits and take the extra couple of tenths. But that is the difference, isn't it, between these guys in the Pirelli category and those who aspire to be in this category. It's that, I always think the top drivers in any category, they have that ability to still think when they're operating at 100%. So if I'm at 100%, I'm hanging onto the car, I'm not at this level, and so while I do a reasonable lap time, I don't have any time left to be thinking about tyres, thinking about strategy. And the top drivers, they're thinking about all of that whilst banging in an even better lap. It's very frustrating. Tony, you'd have done it, wouldn't you, at your peak? Except for arguing about track limits.
Yeah, I mean, with the experience, what to expect, and then the track obviously very different to yesterday afternoon, for example, lap time wise, track temp wise, everything, and you get low fuel, sticker tire run, so that's the best time for a racing driver when you get to show your performance in qualifying.
Good to see a few RVs parked up down the side of the track here. So it looks very different, as I say, than when you guys will see it the most, which is almost certainly F1 weekend is when you would have seen this place the most. And what a great place to be, because if you're on the straight there, particularly when F1 Clienti is out, we will talk a little bit more about Ferrari races weekend during the session as well. But yeah, they are in an amazing place to listen to those cars. Nina Jade Paul is with our pole sitter, Johnny Kaminsky.
I've got a cowboy in Johnny Kaminsky standing next to me. Pole position, Johnny. You've taken 4 podiums so far this season, 3 wins. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, super excited to get my 5th pole of the year, and COTA's been such a memorable track for me. I've been coming here since I was super young, and seeing my dad get pole here a couple of years ago is super special. So he converted it to a win, so that's the goal for today. And yeah, the session just felt so good. The tracks just get super grippy over the weekend with all the grip on the track getting better and better, and improving myself, improving the setup, and I can't thank the team enough for getting me the best car possible for this morning. So yeah.
What's going to be the biggest challenge for the race later?
I think the conditions. This place, once the sun comes up, it's like 20 degrees, right? So yeah, just got to stay cool and work on my tires, and we'll see how it goes, but I'm super excited.
Well, congratulations, Johnny. I'm proud to give you the pole position award.
Thank you so much.
He's going to need another shelf. 5 out of 5 pole positions for Johnny Kaminsky, absolutely stamping his authority, certainly on the qualifying session, and you can't say he doesn't really have authority in the races, because so far it's 3 out of 4 wins, and the other one was a P2. So is he going to get his 4th win of the season later on today? Join us and find out. 202.8, and then it's Jeremy Clark in P2. Brilliant result for Clark, straight into 2nd place here. Say an experienced racer, but still to jump in the challenge car and be ahead of the likes of Perina and Franco. Franco, the only other race winner this year. Remember the 2nd race at Thermal in P4. Then it's Favre, Cook, Grinzovich and Beckman. Your top 8 in Pirelli here. 2 drivers did post laps. We'll see if they rock up to the grid later. Look at that flag. That flag and the one that is in turn 1, the Stars and Stripes in turn 1, they are 2 of the biggest flags you will ever see, I promise. Yeah, very cool. Giovanni Lennon. Drivers in this one for sure. That's kind of what we expect, because as we mentioned, this is a Ferrari races weekend. So Tony, we should probably tell everyone, they're probably thinking, well, it looks exactly the same to me. Yeah, it looks the same to you now, but if you were here at the event and some of the footage you'll see over the course of the weekend, this is a very different kind of weekend.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest racing weekends for Ferrari, apart from the finals, Finale Mondiali. We have total of 160 cars. We have around 30 cars that have been shipped overseas for here, and a later event in Atlanta, I believe, is next week. We have all F1 cars from a very golden era between 2000 2010. We have the XX program cars here, over 1,000 horsepowers. We have the Club GT with different GT cars from different times, but also the 488 GT Modificata, and yes, and we also have the prototype, so the 499P Modificata, which actually has more power, and it's, I believe, faster on the lap time than the WEC and the Le Mans car. It has sort of push to pass button on the steering wheel, you get extra horsepower, and I think our actual official Le Mans drivers want to drive the Modificata because this is awesome.
Yeah, a brilliant piece of kit.
Obviously, when you go at Le Mans, you have the rules, you have the balance of performance, you have the strict rules, so that's why there the car is set differently. But here in the Ferrari racing days, and yesterday talking to Jay Schreiber, just the joy and the lap time. I'm doing this lap time at COTA with this prototype.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Tony, you should jump in. I said, Jay, I'm okay, thank you.
I said, say, he's more pool than pole these days, Philander.
Yeah, but it's very nice to see the passion.
Yes, and the garage. It was not just seeing the cars yesterday.
And a
Tony.
sort of racing community. These Ferrari clients, they do these events around the world. We have Club GT going to Japan. We are in US. We do some events in Europe. So having the same stuff, having the same drivers, it creates a special feeling. And it's not only about the Ferrari, but it's being together, having this experience, and there's a lot of passion for Ferrari around the world.
So this is interesting because we saw this at Sebring, which was a bit of hustling on the first lap to find some space. Melissa Kozira is in the mix in here. She was quick, wasn't she, during the practice sessions? Let me get the timing screen back up. Some other
And with
data.
these drivers, the important thing is to have a clear lap. You can get stuck behind a driver that is actually lapping slower lap times, and the overtaking is not an easy thing. So you need to find the right place if you want to follow another driver.
Oh, look at that!
Another one.
Huge lockup.
Another one, yeah, big lockup. Same.
No,
Is
it's
it turn
different
one?
place, but yeah, it's
Is it-
turn one, isn't it? Because the tarmac's painted on the outside of the end of the straight is where the huge Texan flag. It's Helen Chu.
Or maybe it's 11. Maybe it's the other hairpin.
End of the very end of the. It is 11. Yeah,
Yeah.
as we zoom out there, we can see the straight on the exit. So, big lockup.
Surprising to see that, because normally, like I said,
Can you set it to 0, the ABS?
I think yes, but
you wouldn't expect.
Obviously, the grip is very low, so you're out of the range of the ABS. You don't have the G-forces, you don't have the grip in braking. You're still trying to get the tires in the right window, but very surprising to see
A couple of lockups.
couple of similar lockups in the hard braking zones. Maybe the drivers are just giving too much pressure on the brake pedal too early, and that creates those issues.
So Melissa Koziri looking at here in
A lot of traffic also.
the blue. Yeah, she's got some traffic. This is only their second lap, so they'll be looking to go quicker, obviously, and try and get out of the way of everybody else. So get yourself a bit of space and then bang in the fast laps. Kozira is the championship leader at the minute. Double win at Sebring, which was her first wins on home soil. She had the double win, of course, last year in Italy at the Finale Mondiali, and took the double win here, at Sebring last time out. Had the fastest lap as well, and then promptly jumped in the pool with Jamie Garrett. It was the first ever 1-2 for female drivers in Ferrari Challenge, which is brilliant. It shows such progress, it really does. And yeah, talking to Melissa's other half yesterday, and he was saying it's just so important inspiring the young female drivers, and that's exactly what me and Tony Verlander were saying on commentary last time out. Paul Lynn here. Him and Matthew Diel maybe sharing decals because the colour schemes are very similar. Maybe they've got the same supplier of wraps, but that looks cool as well. Do love a good livery. I'd say some of the drivers extend it to their water bottles, their crash helmets. Matthew Diel has a cap which matches his livery, so I can always find him in hospitality, which makes it much easier. Well done, Matthew. That is Daniel Roberts in the 144. And we're hearing is John Lennon, by the way. It's not Giovanni Lennon. I was just on talking to race controls. Is this a relation of John Lennon? It's not. It's the 199. It's John Lennon. So we need to find out. Maybe this is a Louis Flory situation. You know, where we called him Louis for a while. It turned out it's Louis. It's spelt the French way, but it was Louis, not Louis. Maybe Giovanni is John Lennon's alter ego. Here is Louis Peruskia. Definitely his real name. They don't tend to use pseudonyms, the drivers. It has been done though. Some people do prefer privacy and use a pseudonym for a racing name. I had that quite a lot working in Asia, and also where some drivers take Asian drivers will take a Western name, which makes the timing screen super confusing. Then it's surname and first name round the other way for some. And then this is Tim Dweet, and he's got the Senna livery, I believe, as the car comes round. Look on the left-hand rear wing, and there it is, Senna in the famous Nacional helmet scheme that he had for so long. Absolute icon in Brazil, of course. So that's what you're doing out there, Tony. If you upset the car on the way into one of the corners, it will affect your line the whole way.
Yeah, the track limits here make these S's and the racing line a bit easier. So with the right height, they can cut the corners a bit more, and you can see that this is now our third qualifying session, and all the drivers are doing it. So this changes a little bit the philosophy of driving. and it's same for everybody. And yeah, that's it. But still, the essence, the character is you need to nail every apex very precisely. 176, a little bit long in the braking.
Yeah, it's Lance Corley.
Yeah.
I think that sounded like a lockup in the background, but it wasn't. It was Kozira coming in.
I think Lance was telling us the number of race starts in Challenge.
Yes.
In the hospitality.
111.
Yeah, big number.
Yeah, 111 race starts. That is a lot of laps in Ferraris. What a guy. So Kozira is the championship leader, as I said, but only by 2 points from Fabian Sperman. Let's get the timing screen back up here. You guys have got one your side. We've got another one here in commentary, which gives us best and last lap, which is handy. Tim Dweck with a 2:10.0, but that's not on. What's their pace?
Let's say if the Pirelli drivers were below 203, then the Pirelli Am's around 205-ish. Shell drivers 207. I think Shell Am around 208. 208, 209. So
Yeah.
let's see where they can reach and what kind of lap time. Oh, Melissa a little bit all over the place. Turn 19, car quite loose in the entry. So the rear coming over a bit in the braking and turning.
She should be triggering lap 3 now as she comes over the line. Is she going to go quicker? She does. 208.1. So Kozira goes 9/10 nearly quicker than Tim Dweck. That's a good lap. And as you said, Tony, maybe still some time to find there.
Yeah, there was a little moment in the second last corner where she had to make a little correction and lost the optimum racing line, but still managing to put the car in P1 right now and showing that there is more to come, more tire life. And she's very aggressive as well.
She
doing
is, yeah. I'm so impressed with Melissa. Every time I see her, she's all smiles now. She comes over and tells us how she's getting on, doesn't she, when she sees us in hospitality, which is a lovely touch from the drivers, because there are so many drivers. There's 160 cars here. We wouldn't have time to have a conversation with all of them if we weren't on air. Oh, no, red flag. That's a shame. So Kozira then, that's advantage Kozira big time. What was the clock that was remaining when the flag came out? We don't have that on screens. 7 minutes. So there is a chance they'll restart this with 7 minutes to go, I think. But effectively, that's going to be maybe a 1-2 lap run, Tony, because you'll retain, depending on how long the red flag is, we'll retain some temperature, but you'll need to get it back up. You're going to need at least one warm-up lap, and then you'll get a max of 2 runs. So Kozira with the advantage. Get that lap in early. Okay, we're going to wait from race control to find out what the incident is, and of course we'll check that everyone's okay. There is Jamie Garrett, who got P2 last time out. Great drive by her. It was that amazing 1-2 for the female drivers. Just to the left of shot there, you can see all the bodywork lined up in the front of the 499P Modified Carter garage, which, if you're here, is well worth a look. Like, it is. It's fantastic. The rescue vehicles are heading out around the outside, and the cars are returning. This is the drone shot. And that, again, that gives you an idea of the undulation. The straight goes down and then up over the crest and then down into the braking zone, say, past these RVs, who will have had the glorious sound of the V8s coming past them.
Yeah, this is a very big area where this track is located, but also a lot of construction work going on. You can see the Formula One effect at full speed here. There's a big building coming up in turn 1. There is other buildings being built in the last 2 corners.
Yeah, we're right out our window here. We can see the roller coaster. You up for it?
No.
No
roller coaster for you. Not
no,
for me.
no roller coaster for Tony Verlander.
No.
Do you think they've tested it yet, Tony? We could be the crash test dummies. We could go jump on the roller coaster.
No, I can skip.
Okay, Tony skips the. He doesn't want to do the heights. He doesn't want to do the roller coaster. Okay, so Edvard Tugin unfortunately caused a red flag, and he is out of the car. There he is on the left-hand side with the prancing horse on the side of his crash helmet. He's okay. They've popped the rear screen, so they've got the fire extinguisher out. Let's take a look and see what happens. Oh, we hear it. Oh, hard hit on the Armco on the inside line. Look at that. Yeah, a lot of damage on the rail, so that may mean that they're going to need to do a repair. The team are out there already. To be fair, if the posts either side of that damage are intact, which it looks like they are, we might be able to just get the session straight back underway, but obviously the car's got to be recovered first of all.
Yeah, that's not an easy place, exit of turn 9, so you ride the curbs and there's a little bit of elevation change, and then when you are still doing the rotation, you need to go on throttle and you ride the curb in the exit. And if you have a sideways moment there in acceleration, these things can happen. But that is a tricky area because through 8, you want to carry momentum. You want to carry a lot of speed. And
It's big damage on the front left corner.
yeah,
I think that might have to be
a good solid hit.
Yeah, it might have to be a spare car job later on today, almost certainly. Melissa Kozira currently on the pole, sitting in the car. You can see she's smiling. She's thumbs up. She's done the lap already. She's 9/10 up the road from Tim Dweet, and she's in a great place. She's got great livery, very easy to spot, particularly because she spends most of her time up at the top. Right, we're hearing from down in the paddock that they've ended the session. So Nina J. Paul is down there with the guys trackside, and it looks like, you see the cars are coming off, so it looks like Kozira has taken the pole, so they did get their 4 laps in.
I think this is the Ferrari Racing Days effect. The schedule is full.
Yeah, it's super tight, isn't it?
Super tight. We are starting 8 a.m. and we are finishing the last sessions very late each day. Even yesterday, the last session with Club GT was 8:45 p.m. So I think this time they want to try to repair the track, repair the quad rail, and then to get the next session started as
Straight
planned.
away, yeah, almost on time. So this buys them 7-8 minutes to get the car on the trailer and bring it back. Totally understand that. I say we've got 160 cars here and everybody keen to get the track time. Also, we weren't 1 lap in. You know, we were 4 or 5 laps in. There will be a couple of drivers, I'm sure, who were hoping to do it later in the session. Yes, Melissa. Pole. There we go. Love the support. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is also the thing that we have 15 minutes, but it's always good to set a lap time. If you are too confident, you stay in until the 5 minutes is gone, 10 minutes left on the clock. You're still warming up the tires, red flag, and the session is gone. Here we see the damage.
That's not as bad as I thought. It's more front right. It looked like front left from the previous camera shot. All 4 wheels still on it. Believe it or not, that might be okay, Tony, with the impact spread across the whole of the front.
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes these contacts with the barriers can look very easy, and inside there's a big damage, or the other way around, it can look a big one, and then in the end it's a minor repair.
Yeah.
So
it's if the load is spread, isn't it? If the crash structures will do some work, but if you get back to bulkheads and the important parts of the car which deal with the alignment of things, then yeah, you might be in a tricky situation.
Yes.
We will see. You look at Roy Carroll, who's getting himself ready to head on out.
And for the drivers, you're inside the car, always concentrated on your session. You're asking from your team what happened, what's going on.
Where was it? Yeah,
when we're going out, be careful there. There might be something on the track, and so on. So
nice look at the steering wheel and everything there as well. Let's head down to somebody else who I'm sure will have a big smile on her face with Nina J. Paul, pole sitter Melissa Kozira.
What I will say is I'm loving all of the cowgirl hat today. Pole position, Melissa, looked pretty easy out there for you. Talk us through the lap.
Well, you know, I woke up in the middle of the night last night and I thought we're going to have to get a low 7 to make it work. And I don't even know what my time was, but I knew I had to get out there and get out there quick. And then as soon as the red flag went up, I'm like, oh my God, I hope I did enough. So it was good. It was good.
You are currently the championship leader for your class. Is that adding more pressure?
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Well, good luck for the race.
Thank you. I want to say thank you to my coach. He's absolutely amazing. Made me who I am. My husband, Wilco Racing, Conquest. I mean, the car was amazing. The team's amazing. You know, I couldn't do it without everybody.
You've got such a great team and support system, and that is showing in your performance this year, Melissa, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Great job, Melissa Kozira. Very pleased with herself. She went and got that cowboy hat yesterday or the day before with the blue ribbon around it. The blue ribbon is, of course, to match her livery. All smiles, and I love that. Woke up in the middle of the night and thought that I'm going to need to do this particular lap time. What the lap time was, we'll check in a moment when we get our results graphic up. But whatever, she got it done. She got it done early enough in the session as well. that she is on the pole. Let's take a look at the results. Melissa Kozira 208.1, so actually she didn't need to go as quick as she did, but crucially, in the championship fight, Fabian Sperman is only 2 points behind her. It'd be 3 now. She's got the point for pole, but he is on the second row on the outside. So advantage to Melissa Kozira, and you can see it's pretty tight through the lap times. Dweek, Corley, Sperman, Hummel, O'Neill, Patel, and Beffler. Danny Patel, P7. That's a good job by him. Then Bernard Gomez, Steve Check, John Lennon, Danny Roberts, Jamie Garrett down in 13th, Jeffrey Nürnberg 14th. He won't be happy with that. Yeah, Nürnberg, look at these guys. So these guys, Vartugi and Moyes, Kiel, Peruskia, they didn't do a quick lap, not with that gap back there. So there's at least 6 or 7 drivers who didn't get a quick lap in, maybe left a bit later, Tony, and unfortunately they've been caught out by the red flag.
Yeah, that is the tricky part. If you leave it to the second half of the qualifying, and you might end up in this situation, and that's unfortunate. It changes their race day completely on day one here in COTA.
Right, we're going to have a look at this wonderful circuit from on board. So Lewis Flory took us for a run around the circuit of the Americas. We'll have a look at that in a moment, no worries. The replay machine, which stores these lovely features, is just having a little wobble this morning. It'll be fine. We'll get that up and running and away. Down there in the 4th car up from the bottom is one of my favourite liveries. It's ice creams. There are ice creams all over it. You will need an ice cream. Actually, I had some gelato yesterday from the fantastic hospitality here at Casa Ferrari. They're running a number of hospitalities here in the F1 pit building for all the different categories, F1 Clienti XX program. So there's here's Blake Rosser. Rosser is currently the championship leader. Now Rosser moved up from Coppa Shell Am to Coppa Shell after the first 2 races, took a double win immediately at Thermal, and they were like, you know what, actually you're a bit quick for Shell Am, we're going to move you up to Coppa Shell, where he then proceeded to win immediately at Sebring as well. So he's been absolutely flying. Had a P8 in the 2nd race at Sebring, didn't go his way last time out, but Rosser will be one to watch here for sure. Ryan Dayton in the 1-2-3. My kind of race number. Here's somebody who's definitely had to replace the front bumper, because that is the classic unwrapped colour, isn't it? That's straight off the parts truck. Unesi in the 1-1-1. So that was Brian Waltersdorf's number before. Number sharing is not something I'm over the moon about when it comes to statistics, but there we go. Ah, look at that. Now that is impressive. That is big shout out to the track prep team. That is the fastest I have ever seen Armco replaced. That's brilliant, Tony, isn't it?
Yeah, that's very, very good work. There is still some opening here in the middle between these two gentlemen, but I'm not sure if they need to still repair that part, but that's been a quick repair.
I'm genuinely impressed. I do a lot of motorsport. There's 2 things I like. Fast car recovery, which, you know, depends on the category. You can put forks under some cars, not under others. But fast track repairs, that's mega. That was good. Great camera work, although it does always make me wonder which way up I am at that point. Look at this. 111 competition. Love the livery here, the IMSA logo on the front as well. Great to get down low and see the underside of these cars. There's the ice cream car coming up next.
Yeah, I think the drivers are coming out from the race cars, so there's a little bit of delay.
Okay, so the drivers are out of the cars. Let's take a look at that onboard lap with Lewis Flory while we wait for them to get back in.
Hey guys, Lewis Flory here, car number 183, racing with Comp. Here we are back where it all began for me, Circuit of the Americas, and I'm going to take you on a lap around this track. So coming up the front straight, heading into turn 1, what you're looking for is a mark of about 125 feet for your brake zone. Coming in, trying to catch tight to this apex. I don't use all the track out this side to set myself up for going into turn 2. Turn 2, trying to be as strong on the throttle as you can, but get down to this curve and track all the way out. Coming wide for 3. It's a half crack of the throttle, then touch the brakes going into the S's here. Find your way coming out. Here you got to be patient, stay a little bit wide, then bring it back in. throttle down, trying to get down to turn 7, catch just that apex right there, coming up into 3rd gear here, bring it over to the right, getting as far inside as I can, and then flat on the gas all the way down, trying to get down to turn 10 as fast as possible, using every bit of the track that they're allowing us. Brake right here at the grass, hard on the brakes, bring it in tight, catch this apex, and jump on the gas as fast as you can for that famous back straight going down here at COTA. Going down the back straight, it's a long straight, but what you're looking for is you're looking for that 150-foot marker. And once again, as we come up to it, we're going to get very heavy on the brakes, very aggressive on the brakes. Stay wide, stay patient, catch this inside apex, and again, come out wide and send it on down the next corner. Here, it's a light use of the brake, but it's a long braking area to get that nose down into that apex, and then you're trying to find the grip and get it all the way down to the next corner. Here, another kind of light but long braking zone, catching that apex, and then hard on the gas as fast as you can and set it up wide to be ready to bring it in for the carousel. Through the carousel, it's a little bit of management of throttle and grip, trying to stay on the very edge of grip with the throttle as aggressive as you can, and now comes down to a super fast corner, 4th gear, turn 19, use all the track out to the right. Coming up here, we're going to brake right on the sidewalk at the right for turn 20, 3rd gear, apex, and very aggressively throttle out using every bit of the track. And that is a lap at the Circuit of the Americas.
Great stuff in the onboard from Lewis. There's a few things I noticed. The drivers are getting back in, so I think we're going to be underway. Number 1 on the straight, you saw him check all the data on the dash twice, and then you saw him check his mirrors, because of course it's the only time. The other thing that was interesting is where we saw the shunt earlier, the exit at turn 9. Lewis said hard on the gas, but he was a gear up. And so although he's committed to the throttle, Tony, it gives you that safety on traction.
Yeah, if you go gear up, so higher gear, you have less wheel spin, you do more meters, more feet with the progression of the engine. So if you have torque like you have with the Challenge motor with the turbos and everything, so you can ride that higher gear, and that gives you the security and not to worry about the wheel spin, oversteer and over rotation. Yeah, good comments as well. Almost the things that you would mention or when you're on a fly lap: go early on throttle, brake late, do this, do that, hit the apex. So almost comments that his coach is giving into him.
Absolutely.
So
then that's what's
hit
in your
your
head.
hit your marks every time. So and it shows perfectly the character of this racetrack. We have everything. We have tight hairpins where you need good traction. We have corners where you ride the curves with a nice flow, and then we have a very technical part where it's slow corners. So this track has it everything.
Interesting as well, the onboard, the speed as you approach turn 12 is insanely high, and you're crossing. I mean, it's often measured in football pitches. Whether those are UK or US pitches is irrelevant. They'll be like, how many football pitches you're doing a second at 200 miles an hour. It's a lot, and you could see he said, I need to get to the apex in 12, and then missed it by a couple of feet. That was the onboard lap we were with. He was so late on the brakes, but to commit to the brakes like that late at that speed, that is not easy.
Yeah, and one thing with the GT and Challenge cars, also use the gears and the downshift to help the car to slow down. So be aggressive with the gears in the downshift. Helps you to narrow the distance, to shorten the distance where you slow down. Again, I repeat, 11 and 12. If you try to hit perfectly every lap where to brake, it's better to brake a little bit late. Even turn 1, if you overshoot it by half car width, you're still fine. But if you come short, the apex comes
too soon
to you too soon,
yeah,
and you cannot go on throttle, and you are still rotating in the wrong place, and you have a massive oversteer.
So actually, where Lewis is slightly wide of the apex, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
He can pick the throttle up and run the speed through.
You can lose hundredths of a second, but then you gain it in the acceleration.
And that's why we have Tony here, because he actually knows. So it was a good lap, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good, and also the confidence these drivers have to ride the curbs. If you're not familiar with the racing and you don't know, and the onboards, it just shows that the drivers really use the track everywhere. That's why you practice. You have a long lap, but you know, and you put all the details together.
Good stuff from Lewis Flores from the onboard and from Tony Villander alongside me, Andrew Coley. Nina Jade Paul is reporting from down in the paddock. Just to give you a few more updates on the circuit, 13 to 15, that technical section that Tony was talking about, the first of the technical sections, that is inspired by Hockenheim and Bahrain in terms of track layout. So this circuit is recent in F1 standards. And 16 to 18, so that's the corner that Lewis called the carousel. That's the long right-handers around the outside of the COTA tower. That was inspired by Istanbul Park's Turn 8, and of course Istanbul Park is coming back to Formula 1.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised, I will double check now, but I think this track has been designed together with Hermann Tilke, who designed a lot of tracks for F1, but let me double check.
I remember the very first laps, I think it was Coulthard that drove them in a Red Bull Formula 1 car, but on dirt. So they set the car up to be driven on dirt, and he drove around the venue to show the elevation change. It was, I can say it's years ago, but it would have been a YouTube piece probably rather than a social piece. And I love stuff like that, you know, things like that would have been a great publicity stunt for this circuit, and it is next to a brilliant town. I love Austin, it's so much fun, and yeah, go on. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's
Hermann Tilke.
Yeah, Hermann Tilke and his company, and he's done a big number of tracks that are suitable for MotoGP, F1, and all this stuff. And like we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, corners like 1, 11, 12, especially 1 and 11, where the track becomes very wide, was designed to create more overtaking opportunities. And I've always enjoyed racing here, testing here, and Ferrari in the GT world is very strong here because mid-engine car is very well balanced everywhere, and Ferrari is very good on tire life. So when we were racing against other brands in ALMS or IMSA, we knew that in the stint, so more or less stint is an hour, full tank lasts more or less an hour depending on rules every year. But we knew that on tire life, this track and the race will come to us because we have a good balance.
Awesome, great stuff, mate. So it was a happy hunting ground for you, COTA?
Yeah, some unfortunate. We had an issue. One year we were leading by big margins, just cruising to the end, driving with Mr. Giuseppe Risi's team. So with Risi Competizione, he had at the time he had dealerships in Texas, and we were leading. He had over 200 guests. And then the car switched off a few minutes to the end. So that was a tough moment. But there was something good in it. In Mr. Giuseppe's trailer, we had a 5-minute meeting, and we agreed that we're going to go for next year as well.
Okay, cool. So even with the bad news, you got some good news.
Yeah, so I had a contract for a year, for the next year.
Great stuff.
Yeah, so this is our 4th session now. We have the Shell drivers on track. We had a little delay because of the contact with the barriers, quick repairs from our track officials, and now 12 minutes on the clock left for our 4th qualifying.
Yeah, final qualifying session. Then we're going to bring you the very start of the XX session as well after this, where we can talk to you about that program. I say there's a lot of very cool cars here. I think you'll see some of the F1 action later on this weekend in between some of the racing sessions, or maybe between the racing and the podium. So do make sure you join us. So 10 past 1 local. Sorry, Tony, if you want to join us for the race shows later on, that's 13:10 local time or 1:10 p.m. local time.
Yeah, a few corners where you can spot the tire barriers. Oh, yeah, tight competition here.
Yeah, a bit about braking on lap number 1.
Yeah, so around corners 7 and 8, there is tires inside just to prevent that drivers are not cutting on the grass and bringing the dirt on the racetrack. I'm sometimes not a big fan of tires putting to narrow the racing line, but in that case I think it's good. Having seen the S's and the corners after, challenge drivers are really using the track limits to the edge, so it's good that they narrow a bit the tires, and you don't want to hit those tires.
No, I have hit a tyre bale before racing.
It's not a good thing.
They are a lot heavier than you think. I think I'm pretty sure I broke a finger when I hit it because it hurt for about 6 weeks.
Because you hit the steering wheel afterwards.
Yeah. Well, the front left corner of the car was not in such great shape, there we go. It wasn't my car, which I felt quite bad about. But there we go. These things happen sometimes. The conditions were tricky. Yeah, tiny mistake, 4th gear, pulled the front left corner back and broke a finger. So there we go. I can't complain though, Tony. I think that's my only racing injury really from over the years. Touch wood, might get back in the car again. Let's hope we don't improve on it. So these will be the slow laps. Remember, a couple of laps for the drivers to get the tyres up to temperature. We've been seeing 2, so in theory the next one might be a push lap.
Yeah, so the lap times are getting closer. We are expecting a lap times around 2:07, and that should be around the P1 lap time. It may be faster, it might be a little bit slower, like we heard before, Melissa. Kozira was expecting in a Shell under 2:08, and she did, let's say 2:07, even low 2:07. She did 2:08, and that was enough for the pole position. Also, the session was cut short because of the contact. So let's see our Coppa Shell drivers now.
So we're 2:08.2. We could expect to see another second locked off that probably if they're on it. Track conditions are good. It is overcast. It's not cold in Austin, not at all. Like it's shorts and t-shirt weather.
Yeah, it's t-shirt weather from the
Definitely.
morning. It's very humid in the
Yes.
morning, and afternoon it was boiling humid.
Yeah,
it was
really hot.
It was a struggle even to be on the pit lane. So for this afternoon's racing, it will be also a physical challenge for the drivers. So hydrate between the qualifying and the race and be ready for the physical beating inside the race car. Always the toughest part is when you stop after the race, when everything is boiling hot and the car stops and you don't get the airflow
No
anymore.
airflow coming in. Yes, I get. Well, of course. And if you have a stoppage, there's nothing worse than sitting
Let me
in
out,
the car.
let me out.
Yeah, please get me out. We've said it before. We'll say it again. You're wearing the underwear which you wear in these race cars. Boy, a lot of curb, maybe too much.
Yeah, or
And not straddling enough. So you have to be either side there of the rumble strip to make that work.
That is very good point. If you are hesitating and you don't take enough curb, if you decide to do so, then you jump with the car up in the air and the car is all over the place. If you are more decisive and you take a fair amount of the curb, and then the car is more settled.
Michael Owens, who's currently 5th in the standings, has one podium this year. He's sitting at the top of the table with a 2:07.2, and that's only 2/10 off the fastest time we saw in the 3 free practice sessions prior to the race weekend. So Owens setting down a good marker. Yeah, it will be hot, hot, hot. I say it's such a fun city. Yesterday, after we'd finished here at track, it was still hot enough to go and take a dip in the river. There's a place called Barton Springs, which is where all the locals go. It's a huge public swimming area which is in the river, and went down there to cool off. And yeah, it's one of those occasions where you think it's hot in shorts. So as we were saying a minute ago, the underwear which you wear in these cars is like ski thermals but fireproof. Then you put a race suit over the top. Now the modern race suits, Tony, are much more breathable than they used to be, but it's still a lot. And then you strap yourself into the seat, which is effectively a very thick layer.
Yeah, the racing overalls and the underwear, they have improved a lot.
Yes.
So the racing overalls, the actual weight, the way the suit breathes, and everything, how it works, it's a big step, and feels like every year they find new materials. You don't have a big stickers anymore on the overalls. They're all
printed instead of
so everything so everything is for the weight, but also the fact that some drivers use the cool suit. So you have the shirt where the cool water is going around your body, and that helps you to cool down in a race as well. Sometimes in an endurance race that's a bit risky, because if something happens it might be an issue for the alternator, so the amount of energy that takes.
Got you.
And also if there's a malfunction, I had a teammate that was running a hot water on your body, and that's not a good thing either.
No, that's not good at all.
But sometimes also the driver think we have a 30-minute race, so we go for it. I do it.
It's not like, you're not going to be in the car for an hour either way. If it did fail, it's not so bad. Blake Rosser, 2:06.6. He goes quickest, and now we've got 4 drivers at least down to Orsini who've gone quicker than the practice times were. 2:07.0 was the benchmark, and our top 4 are all under that. Chuck Whittle, I noticed in P5, is out in his T car again, so that may mean that he's had an issue earlier on this week, or maybe just a tech issue with his normal car. 151 you're looking at there is Brad Evans as he comes out of the last corner. Everybody on their last lap doing their fastest lap, and most are on lap 3 or lap 4. Every single driver still improving.
And also a very impressive pace. Like right now from Rosser below 2:07. Oh, a little bit of moment there. 151.
It's Brad Evans. Yeah, he's moved up to P6 actually on that last lap. He was a lot further down before, so Evans has done a good lap. But
yeah, this is the window now between, we see on the timing and scoring, we see laps 3 and 4 and 5. So if you take out the 2 warm-up laps, so the laps 3 to 4 are the best, or let's say 2 to 4 with the flying laps are the best ones.
we're on board there with Charlie Menard, who's sitting in P3.
And here you see the turn 1. Whoa,
Yeah,
the
look
way
at
you
the
go up.
steepness, and that's that huge building they're building on the outside. So that has gone up so fast since the Grand Prix at the end of last year.
If you brake too late, you need to leave the garage door open to
Yeah, yes, go park it underneath.
Yeah.
Very much like thermal with all the garages around the outside and the lovely houses. Look at this as well.
These are the S's.
With the crest there, you get the idea that actually you're unsighted on that first left apex. I think it's into turn 3, you're unsighted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here we had a good view of the SS, and every time you need to point the nose of the car just to cut the inside curves. Here we had the issue with the driver going off earlier. Here with the throttle, he went to the left.
And you can see the black lines there leading straight to the Armco barrier on the inside. Just if you
11,
want
12,
to-
very similar, hard braking zones. Here we jump forward. This is 1 corner ahead, 113 braking into 12.
Yeah, with
Rosser.
Rosser there, Blake Rosser, who was
Owens-
on the pole.
Owens
Yeah,
has
and
been-
Owens has gone quicker, 206.4. So they've taken off, they've slashed half a second off their free practice times. Maybe a combination of new tyres, obviously low fuel loads, ideal track conditions, but to see so many drivers doing such a good time, but 206.4 is outstanding. Really leaning on the car through that long right hand of the carousel, as Lewis called it, with all the wonderful Texan logos on the ground. Even in pit lane, the coloured stripes which mark the difference between the lane in which you park and the lane in which you drive are marked up with that. Ross has gone quicker again, but not quick enough, so he does a 206.576. 578, sorry, yeah, so he's 0.79 off. Sorry, 0.079 to 700ths off. Going to be a battle between those two, but this is the point now, Tony, at the top. Look, Owens and Rosser have both done 5 laps, and in fact, all of the top, yeah, look, the top, we've now got 5 drivers under 207. So who's gone in? Charlie Menard's 3rd, Brad Evans in 4th, but they're still doing quicker laps on lap number 5. At some point, you've got to go, I want to save tyres for the race. When? If you're still improving.
Yeah, you have a plan when you come into qualifying, but also you want to start further up the grid. You want to start P1 if you have a chance for it, but don't get too greedy because, like you mentioned, you need the tires in the race as well. 5, 6 flying laps, it starts to be on the limit.
There is the team car of Chuck Whittle. Chuck normally, of course, has that amazing livery, doesn't he? The chrome livery. Still looking cool with the silver livery on the car. Rarely see that. It's normally red if it's not got a wrap on it. 1 minute 40 roughly to go in this session. So still drivers on fast laps. There is a lot of traffic out there. This is our biggest category. Or I think Shell and Shalom are both pretty big. Cars now pinning off into the pits in the background. Over the line, let's see who improves. Orsini doesn't go quicker and has gone in the pits actually, so Orsini crosses the timing line in there. Dayton likewise into the pits. You're looking at Andrew Parker with the ice cream livery, who to me is offline and probably quit his lap with a minute left. Owens has pitted, so the pole sitter has pitted. Javier Borgio. So Javier Rodriguez Borgio is P6, and that is his best lap at 2:07.0. Literally this morning, that would have been good enough to be at the top of the timesheet, and it's good enough for 6th now because so many people are going quickly. Charlie Menard, last lap 2:06.7. That was on his 5th lap. Menard might still be out, but nearly everybody is quitting at the end of lap 5 and pulling the car in on lap 6. In comes Menard, and he does the same. So Charlie Menard has pitted. So I'm pretty confident that's going to be session over. I'm just trying to see if Blake Rosser has maybe rested the tyres for now. 209.5, I'm not so sure.
looked like Evans was still on the flying lap, but he's running into some traffic.
He is. There's a lot of traffic. Look at the closing speed. It's going to compromise his line into 12.
Yeah, overshot the corner.
Yeah, I think that's unfortunate.
This was a good tight qualifying with good lap times, and also Michael Owens was one of the drivers we talked yesterday in Casa Ferrari, and yeah, very good performance from him.
Yeah, really good. Final couple of corners. I wonder whether they're going to quit or just is he going to continue to push the whole lap?
He went over with the track limits.
Yeah,
you can put yourself into trouble.
I think he's rolled off.
Yeah.
I think he's rolled off. Not 100%, but he looks to me like he's rolled off the throttle. So yeah, he has. So that will be potentially he would have been up at the end, and then as the indicators have come on, he's parked it. So Michael Owens takes the pole, 206.499, just tips under the 206.5 marker. That's half a second quicker than anyone had gone in the free practice sessions this week, and it is a brilliant job. Mike Luley, P15, brings the car in the 112. Literally, here comes in Blake Rosser now. Yeah, with Mike Luley, we did actually, I remember we had an email from him last year saying about how he'd driven every single challenge car. He's been in for a long, long time. Who was it that had 111 entries we mentioned earlier?
Lance.
We met in hospitality yesterday. Was it Lance? Yeah. He'd had 111. I think Luley is potentially the only guy who might have even more.
Yeah, I haven't driven all the models, obviously, but I've been around since the 360. 2000,
right, Tony,
early 2000.
Never give away your age, Tony. There's not a grey hair on the man's head, though. I mean, he's, you know.
Yeah, but I was only 2 years old when I drove the car.
He struggled to reach the pedals. Nina Jade Paul is with our pole sitter. Let's get down to Nina Jade in the pit lane with Michael Owens.
Michael, you said you did your best lap of the weekend so far, and great timing, pole position.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. It's a fantastic track. I love the speed. All through practice, always one scruffy sector, one good sector, so it was nice to really put it together. Had the car moving around on the tires as they got warm, and on my last hot lap, put together the best one, so it doesn't get any better than that.
You've got the fast-starting Blake Rosser behind you. How do you plan on keeping him behind you and converting this to a win?
You know, we've had good battles so far this year. It's a real pleasure moving up a class. The guys make you work much harder. It's good fun. I can't wait to battle them into turn one, and it's a wild turn one here, 3 or 4 wide at times. So we'll see. It's going to be who exits the best out of turn one, not who enters the best out of turn one.
Absolutely, turn one's going to be pretty epic. But for now, congratulations on pole position. Here is your pole award.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That feels earned. It was work in the car today.
Brilliant. Congrats.
Thank you.
I love that. So he really did work hard for it, and with a 206.5, said it was his best lap of the weekend, and it certainly is. Brilliant job. Michael Owens takes it. Here are the results. There is the Texan flag in the background, the COTA tower. Michael Owens with that 206.499. Blake Rosser, the championship leader at the minute, tried so hard to deny him and only came 700ths away from it. Owens currently sitting in P5 in the standings. Charlie Menard with a great P3 there. He's 9th overall at the minute, but has had a couple of P3s at Sebring. Didn't race back at Thermal, so he might be a threat as well. Brad Evans, Kevin Orsini, Roy Carroll, Javier Rodriguez-Borgio, Chuck Whittle in P8. He's running the T-car, remember. Ryan Dayton, Lewis Flory, Joel Rose, Glenn Moss, Andrew Parker, Rodin Unesi, new driver to me here, but running the 111, and then Mike Luley down in P15. Look at that flag. That is a flag. It's huge. It's so hard to explain how big that flag is. You need to be here, and when you realise that you can see it from so far away, and it still looks like a big flag, it's huge. It is huge. There's the amazing paint as well on the outside. This circuit, I think it looks really cool. It's one of the best looking F1 tracks. I know we have some paint on some of the European ones. Is it Paul Ricard where it's blue around the outside? And it looks cool, but it's the Texan theme is what makes this place.
Yeah, this is a very, very beautiful track. The track itself for a driver is nice, but also the whole area is very, very nice. We have the Casa Ferrari. You can see the Ferrari logo. That's the entrance of the Casa Ferrari. We have same type of hospitalities for for the other events, for the XX program, for the Club GT, the tower.
The tower is
I
even
couldn't
branded
skip it
Ferrari
this time.
red. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
But this is very, very nice, very beautiful.
Yeah, it's a great track. Right, we are going to be back in just a few moments' time just to introduce you to the Ferrari XX program, so stick around. That's it from qualifying for Ferrari Challenge on day 1 here at weekend number 3 from COTA. Some great pole positions, some close lap times out there as well. Join us later on today. I think it was 13:10 local time, and you will be able to see today's races. Going to do it all again tomorrow, but make sure you catch up later on as well. You might catch a glimpse of F1 Clienti, and I say in just a few moments' time you're going to see some of the XX program. See you later for Ferrari Challenge North America, but stick around for XX. Okie dokes, we have Ferrari XX out on track here at COTA. Welcome along, my name's Andrew Coley. Alongside me in the commentary box is Tony Villander. And we're going to just give you an introduction to these cars before we then let you listen and enjoy the sounds of them. It is a pretty unique program. I think, Tony, the thing is, Ferrari races weekend for a start. We've got a bunch of stuff here, but it's covering everything. 499p Modificata, which is basically a purchasable version of the WEC car, for want of an easier description. F1 Clienti, where you can buy and own and drive a Ferrari F1 car. Yeah, that's almost unique among the F1 teams, certainly in how recently you can buy the cars. And now we have the XX program here as well.
Yeah, I think other manufacturers have tried something similar, tried to, let's say, directly copy Ferrari, but they never really had great success, and Ferrari is very unique into this. We have the XX cars on track, like you mentioned, and this program was first presented over 20 years ago, so it's 2005. Crazy, and the basic thing is three car models. So FX6 is based on Enzo, 599XX is based on 599 GTB, and then the FXXK, which is based on LaFerrari, and it was presented in 2014. These cars are owned by Ferrari clients, but maintained by Ferrari, and very often you see inside there is two person, not always but often, and meaning that these clients have often coaches. So they alter. Sometimes the coach is driving and giving their feedback, their input, how it should be done, and then the actual client trying to improve their lap time and performance on track. These cars are not street legal, so you only drive them in these specific events. And also here, one word is also community. These drivers, they know each other. What kind of business you have? Can I leave my business card? Let's do this and that.
A lot of networking,
yes,
and a lot of fun as well. A shared passion.
Yes.
You know, their businesses can be completely different, but they share a passion for driving Ferraris on track.
Yeah, and then just the showdown is when you have the best tracks in the world. Suddenly we have 160 cars on track. We have 30 to 40 cars being shipped from overseas here, and just to have this experience here in COTA or next week in Road Atlanta, which is a very unique track as well. But this is very special. A lot of the mechanics have done 10 years in F1, 15 years in F1. They say the Formula 1 calendar is too much. I want to chill down a bit. Okay, you stay in Maranello, you work on this program, and then you travel to these events.
Yeah, so they look after F1 Clienti, XX program as well. There's a catering area where those guys are eating because they travel with the cars. They're over here, I think you said, for 2 weeks because heading on. And the next track, Atlanta, is the total opposite of COTA, you were telling me, in terms of runoff and character. And
Yeah, there is a gentleman that 2007, when Kimi won the F1 World Championship, he was Kimi's chief mechanic. He's here every time asking, "Where's Kimi? You need to bring him to these weekends."
Finnish people.
Yeah. Are you talking to Kimi? I said, "Yeah, of course I am. You need to bring him here." So,
Oh, brilliant.
yeah. So a lot of passion again. These cars are very particular, different, little bit from different era. A lot of horsepower, between, let me say, 700 to even more than 1,000 horsepower. Different technology. Some of them have sort of like a hybrid energy as well, and not only combustion engine.
And just look at the amount of Ferrari staff here. You really do get looked after. You know, so I was watching the F1 cars yesterday. They come in the pits, and it's like coming into an F1 pit. They come in. There's 8 people around the car. A laptop goes in straight away. The data is downloaded. It is a serious program.
Yeah, sometimes you question where do you need all these people, but Ferrari really brings a lot of stuff to the events. I've done now 2 years the event in Lapland in Finland, and we have same amount of staff as we have guests. We have one person per each guest almost. Yeah. And sometimes you go like, okay, we could do it with a less personality, but in the end you need it, because then being here for many days, each of these have a different role, and the guests, the clients, they feel like they're really looked after. They really things happen, and they ask for something. One gentleman is for the overalls, helmets. The other one knows the details of the race car. And this is a big family, Ferrari family, that travels around the world.
Wonderful noises from these cars. You can see the active aero on the back as well. If you watch the second element of the rear wing, when the car gets onto the straights, you see there it drops down. And then when they lift and come up, look at this as well, harnesses. And some people will think, oh, why don't you do your own harness up? It's really hard to do your own harness up. Actually, this guy's wearing more of a rally-style helmet, which has the intercom across the front, but a lot of drivers wear the full face. You can't see your own harness. When you've done it a few times, yeah, but even you, Tony, when you race in GT, there's a harness guy, you need that help.
Yeah, and also Ferrari wants to make sure that there's no errors. We need to be 100% that everything is done in a safe way. And there's no margin for that. So safety is the first aspect when Ferrari cars go racing or Ferrari cars go on track for the track days. So that's why we take care of everything, control. We know always who is driving, who is as a passenger. Yeah. Some drivers take family members, take their sponsors, take their business partners, take whoever to ride these cars with them, but we always know there's a procedure how to do it.
Who's in the car?
We always know what's happening.
And you mentioned the coaching side of things. We've both worked as track coaches in the past, like myself across things like rally and the loose surface stuff, as well as some track things and drifting. Tony at a much higher level in terms of GT racing. But imparting that information, I actually used to really enjoy to a point. When somebody gets too quick, you want to get out of the car. But at the point they're too quick, actually, they're probably good enough that they're almost safer than when you first get in with them. But I used to love taking someone who I would describe as 7 out of 10 fast and getting them to 9 out of 10 fast. I found that a really rewarding process as a driver coach.
Yeah, I mean, as a driver coach, there is always the starting point. So you need to look at this.
Yeah,
we're getting so much sound through the
it's really
headset.
noisy.
Yeah. So there's always a starting point, and then you need to take it step by step. Every driver, every client is also individual. Some do listen a lot, some think that they are the best drivers in the world, and then you just need to go back to basics. What is very fascinating as well, that a lot of the instructors, they come from Scuderia de Adam. This school has a relationship with Ferrari for many decades, and they provide the instructors. Yeah. And the relationship, sometimes a client doesn't want to come for track day if I don't have my instructor.
Yes.
So the relationship goes very deep, meaning that I don't have the performance, I don't have the confidence to go in the car if I don't have the exact instructor. And that's why clients sometimes they request that I want to do the season with this person, because I've always enjoyed working with him, and this way we go on track together.
That works both ways for me. When I was working as a coach, if you're sitting in the car, and I would say to the client, I'd say, right, I'm gonna be at first. It's gonna be you brake, and I expect you to brake. If you brake immediately, and you listen and you do what I'm saying immediately, I will push you faster and faster and faster. If I feel like that's not happening, we're gonna have to go step by step. So as the coach, when you have the trust of a regular client who is always in the car, you know they're going to listen, you know they want to go fast, and that the safety protocols are there. Everything is very well controlled and managed. Yeah, it's great, and you get that good relationship. Then they reach a point sometimes where you're like, right, I need to get out of the car now, and you need to do this on your own, and you need to use the data that's available to you in the car and remember the things, because you have people who can drive on instruction. They're literally driving by numbers. Brake here, turn in, okay, apex on the throttle, and you go away and it goes away, and you build that up, and then you get to the point where you're looking at onboards and data instead of sitting in the car, and that gets you progressing towards racing driver.
Yeah, these drivers make big steps forward. They improve a lot their lap time during the week or the weekend, and that's a great satisfaction of this collaboration together. We have front engine cars, we have mid-engine cars here in the XX program, so different concept of racing cars as well.
Active air on the back of this as well. Look at the third element on the wing. Absolutely brilliant. Right, we're going to leave you to it here with these fantastic cars and all the noises. Join us later on today if you'd like to. Around 1:10 we will be going racing with Ferrari Challenge. This is the XX program. We have F1 Clienti and the 499P Modificata here at COTA. All the toys are here for Ferrari Racing Days. We hope you're all having a brilliant time here at the circuit, or if you're watching at home, and we'll see you later on for some action from Ferrari Challenge.